Origin and development of sociology. The study of society is much older than its name. It was the object of Plato's masterpiece, The Republic, which is in reality an analytical study of the city, community in all its aspects. The sociological matter was pursued in many treatises on politics before the distinction between state and community was apprehended. In literature, there were number of writings on the nature of society and even descriptions of actual societies in previous centuries. So there were different societies that existed in different centuries in this world. The era of scientific studies of society and social groups began only in the studies in the 19th century. Those writings are philosophical or literary, though they are sociologically relevant. Whatever has been written in the 19th century during the period of enlightenment, industrialization, and your revolutionary activities that were taking place, they were philosophical or literary in nature. Though they are sociologically relevant, they are not sociological as they are not based on scientific research. Sociology is different from literature. The science of sociology was born in the 19th century in Europe, when under new creative social thought, all the social sciences were transformed and modernized as specialized fields of study. So during the 19th century, all those social thoughts or your social sciences, they were transformed and they were modernized, and new field of studies were created. First, economic phenomena was treated separate from the political with the spread of the doctrine of laissez-faire. The first transformation was that all the economic phenomena, they were separated from the political phenomena, because the doctrine of laissez-faire, free trade, free movement, was spreading. Economics came to be studied as a separate and not as a part of political economy. Previously it was studied as a part of economics, and was studied as a part of political thoughts in form of political economy. Later, the new social sciences such as sociology and anthropology came to be distinguished for studying political and economic institutions of society, rather than for developing a new perspective to study and understand social life. And later on, this science of sociology and another science, the anthropology, they were distinguished for studying political and economic institutions that were operating in the society. Sociology has emerged as a new social science owing to a certain historical developments in the 19th century. And those historical developments were the Enlightenment, Industrial Revolution, and the French Revolution. These three initiated a process of thinking about society, particularly the consequences of revolutionary happenings. Industrial Revolution accelerated the process of urbanization. Urbanization is the cause of Industrial Revolution. Urbanization, in its turn, created the problems of housing and slum dwelling, because migration of people from the village in search of jobs to the cities created the problems of housing, where such a large force of migrants will settle down. So when they were not able to get proper homes, they started living in slums, and the slums came into being. The growth of industries resulted in conflicts between owners and factory workers. When the industries started growing, then the conflict between the owners, who were the capitalists, who wanted to earn profit by cutting down their costs of operations, and one of the cost of operation is the salaries and wages to the workers. So a conflict between the workers and the owners started arising. French Revolution led to rethinking about the form of government and practice of democracy. And in French Revolution, the monarchy was abolished and democracy was established in France. Thus, industrialization, urbanization and capitalism and the attendant consequences began transforming the societies. So these three practices, industrialization, urbanization and capitalism, started transforming the societies of Europe. Sociology took birth in such changed climate. The social anthropology, the sister subject of sociology, started to study the tribal societies, which are called non-literate societies, where writing is absent. So sociology became the science that was engaged in studying these changes and the societies that were emerging because of industrialization, urbanization and capitalism. And on the other hand, anthropology, the sister concern of sociology, started devoting its time in studying the tribals, the non-literate society where writing was totally absent. Although sociology had its birth in the 19th century, mainly in response to the immediate requirements of disorganized society, it developed only in the 20th century. In the 19th century, the birth of sociology took place, but it was not so successful because at that time the society was not properly organized. The actual impetus into this science developed in the 20th century and established itself as a separate social science. It had steadily developed by using same techniques common to other sciences, as well as evolving its own tools and techniques of data collection. So whatever techniques the other sciences, whatever methods the other sciences were adopting, those methods were also adopted by the sociologists to carry on their studies. And later on, sociology itself develops its own tools and techniques of data collection and analysis. Sociology thus has become the scientific study of society, its structure, functions and processes. Now sociology is studied under different special subjects, namely political sociology, rural sociology, urban sociology, social mobility, industrial sociology, criminology, sociology of education, sociology of religion, social Demography is sociology of family, social movements, communication, Indian social system, etc. The teaching of sociology as a separate discipline started in different years in different countries. For example, in 1876 in USA, in 1889 in France, in 1907 in UK, in 1947 in Sweden. Most notable among the early sociologists are Auguste Comte, Herbert Spencer, Emile Durkheim, Karl Marx, and Max Weber. Sociology in India has grown through an encounter with the Western philosophical and scientific traditions. So the Western philosophy and the scientific traditions were taken together to develop this science of sociology in India. Although a full-fledged department of sociology was established in Calcutta University only in 1976, a complete department, a full-fledged department, or say an autonomous department of sociology was established in Calcutta University in 1976. The teaching of sociology began in the Department of Politics and Political Philosophy of the Calcutta University in 1908, when 2 papers in that subject were offered. In the beginning, sociology started in India in 1908 in Calcutta University, where at the initial stages only 2 papers of sociology were offered to the students. The first department of sociology and civics was set up in the Bombay University as part of the Bombay School of Economics, and the first department of sociology and civics was set up in the Bombay University as the part of Bombay School of Economics in Bombay University in 1919. Although a course in sociology was introduced in 1914 for the postgraduate students of economics, in 1922, Professor Radha Kamal Mukherjee moved from Calcutta to Lucknow University and introduced sociology in the university as one of the courses. In 1922, in Lucknow University also, sociology was introduced by Professor Radha Kamal Mukherjee, who was transferred from Calcutta to Lucknow. It is from these 3 centers, Calcutta, Bombay and Lucknow, that the first generation of sociologists were produced. The most eminent names in the field of sociology in India are those of M.N. Srinivas, K.M. Kapadia, Iravati Kharve, D.N. Majumdar, S.C. Dubey and A.R. Desai, etc.